Okay, welcome to the first episode of Build Breakdowns. So, we got a comment saying that the builds weren't explained well enough, and this aims to hopefully fix that. So, yes. I'm just gonna go with the Okina for the first one because it's the best one. And the build has changed a lot, but here is what you will be going for here. So, you will notice that we don't run blind range anymore because efficiency is pretty nice actually. This mod here is Augur Reach, and this one is Archon Stretch. And then you can see the rest. The Arcanes are Arcane Ice Storm and Arcane Crepuscular. And we use Evade here. And then with this basically, we get to do basically shit ton of damage in a pretty good range. While also I mean, not having to use too much energy, which I know was an issue with the previous build. It would be hard to initially get going, so this aims to fix that. And this performs a lot better, especially because Crepuscular is actually a really good damage buff. Like 3x flat crit damage is very good, and a 30% ability strength on top of that. So 40% ability strength plus 90% is 130, plus 40 from maxed Arcane Ice Storm is about 170, plus Crepuscular you get 200 total. And a lot of differences here too. We don't use Condition Overload anymore. We use Vicious Frost and Virulent Scourge at rank 0 for Viral. This is because the majority of its damage is AoE, so you want to just spec into that entirely, and CO doesn't affect AoE damage. So if you do this, you get more consistent and large damage. If you are planning to use the melee along with it, though, I would replace Vicious Frost with Condition Overload. Then replace this with Reach, for example. But because we're not doing that, yeah, just use this. Smite Orokin is the mod here, and Galvanized Elementalist is the mod here. And then for the arcanes, we want influence on the melee, and then just dexterity on your primary and your secondary. And on your arch gun, you want primary dexterity and secondary fortifier. And ignore my really bad build for this. So yeah. Now, basically, what you're going to be able to do, I will showcase it on Orokin, because that's the Bane I have equipped. Is you'll be able to activate in cannon form. There we go. Let all those enemies fold. Activate all of our buffs. And now, do that and go invisible. And what this will do is a colossal amount of damage and just begin cascading and killing literally all of the enemies. Now, it looks a lot better in Mission, obviously, than in Simulacrum, but that's the rough gist of how it is. And so, yeah. Now, in Mission, your damage is usually significantly higher because of the amount of enemies that are there and cascading and dying. So I may as well go and showcase that now. And no cards, just so you can see how it performs on the average. So, yeah. Here we go. Oh yeah, the weapon is Moltron, by the way. You can use Vergulus though, which is in my overframe. Moltron is literally just for testing, and your Sentinel doesn't shoot where you're invisible anyways, so most of the time it doesn't end up doing much.
Worthy foes. Underestimate them at your peril.
So basically what you want to do to
They
get
have
the build
just shut
going,
down all systems. I'm
activate your
sending life
one
support capsules your way.
while you find a place to reside, and just start building up your Incarnate form. Find a room you want to settle in. So for example, for like time's sake, I'm just going to start over here. I will just stay in this area, and then I'll activate my buffs. And I will just sit here and let the enemies cascade. And typically the evade timing is really skittish. Sometimes it will be really consistent, sometimes it won't. You're kind of just like gambling on the enemy density and everything,
Ready for
but
the capsule.
on the whole it does pretty decent damage. As you can see, they're all cascading and dying, even without Crepuscular.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
And with Crepuscular, you have the stealth multiplier and all of that shit, so yep. And now evade is also going up. If you want more uptime on evade, I would recommend use
Life support
more
incoming.
duration. So what I'm probably going to do is just swap out 2 shards for duration right about now, so give me a moment. So here's what the shards look like now. I was previously running 2 crit damage shards, which only gave 75% more crit damage. This is probably a lot better for consistency. And what that will do is increase not only the duration of evade, but it also increases the amount of invis that it gives back when you kill with evade, as you can see here. So yeah. Going back in. Oh yeah, before I do. I was trying out Viral Slash, so hunter munitions to get upkeep Okina, but Moltron really ain't that great for it, so you can just use Vergulus here, to be honest. But yeah, let's go back into mission just so I can show you what it looks like now with those duration shards, and I'll walk you through once again how to set it up and all that.
These are worthy foes. Underestimate them at your peril.
They have just shut down all systems. I'm sending life support capsules your way.
So for the start, you activate Incarnate like that, And now you can just walk around, really. Neutral style will prime enemies while you passively just blow them up. And we need to find a room to reside in. I'll pick a naturally weaker room. Again, we may as well just choose this one for the sake of comparison, right? So, now that we have consistent enemy funneling into this location, just have to wait for Evade to come back online and hopefully not die, because that would be embarrassing. Okay, there we go. Now we just stand up here in this room. The daggers are going to go around killing the enemies. You get to do sweet fuck all, and your evade duration will constantly refresh. As you can see, that duration really made a difference.
Activating it will buy you more time.
Sometimes it will stop killing enemies. I should note that as well. But yeah, in most cases, the enemies will straight up just die. If you want more consistency there on like the people that are direct hit doing the killing, then I would suggest condition overload over viral. But as you can see, we perfectly looped evade. And that's practically the gameplay loop of this setup. You just go around killing enemies, doing nothing, and just straight up being some death machines, so yep. Now I'm going to show you the condition overload variant, so we'll be back for that. Okay, so here is the condition overload setup. We replaced the viral mods with condition overload and voltaic strike. I used the Riven over shocking touch, but just for the sake of showcasing this, I'm not going to use a Riven. And this should be the, what I would like to say, more consistent variant of the setup, so yeah.
These are worthy foes. Underestimate them at your peril.
They have just shut down all systems. I'm sending life support capsules your way.
So again, activating cannon. Walk around. Kill enemies. We'll reside in this room, I think. So we'll have to wait a hefty duration for evade to get back, but that's fine. I shouldn't have activated it too early anyways. I might just let myself die here, actually. Okay. So, now you can go invis. And now, you can just chill. Do we have any daggers? No, okay. Now we can chill. Okay. So now you have a more consistent initial kill.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
Okay, well, enemies just aren't funneling in. Okay, there we go. As you can see, as soon as they enter, they blow up because of Okina. Everyone dies. Evades up kept pretty much infinitely. The setup's minimal. The input is like really minimal. You just cast molecular prime every now and again, and you get rewarded for, I guess, doing nothing.
Use the keys, but they are mere trespassers. Only I, Thor, know the true power of the void.
Life support incoming.
Alright. So that's the setup. I'm gonna go back into the simulacrum now. Okay, so now we're here with this setup. So I wanted to just try condition overload real quick with the simulacrum, just to see if it performed better than viral alert, because it did feel a bit better in mission, to be completely honest. I would say just for the sole fact that the Okina Degas are more consistently getting kills, and the fact that you have a primer doing condition overload and viral for you, I would say that the other, well, the condition overload one might just be better, to be completely honest. So yeah. Overall, it's a very strong setup. I mean, it speaks for itself, really. Obviously, it's best in survivals where there's good enemy funneling, because evade is kind of unusable without funneling. It sucks in, like, anywhere where Banes aren't really good, or not anywhere where Banes can be used, like tech roll, you'd have to use raw, but at that point you'd be better off going for, like, a more general workhorse build for, like, ETA and EDA, so it's a really strong survival build, and, like, build for, like, general use in, like, Grineer and Orca missions, but as far as ETA and EDA goes, this is not your build. But yeah, no, this is a fantastic setup, just overall for, like, the comfort that it brings. Space Steel Path is, in my opinion, like, nearly unmatched. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. The next one's probably going to be, or the next breakdown, I should say, is going to be on Third Taxi, if I have the time. But I might do something else, I'm not sure, so yeah. I'll see you soon.